Welcome to The Self-Led Woman. This is a podcast about emotional eating, the experiences that shape our relationships with food, and the path back to self-leadership. These conversations go beneath behavior, held with deep respect for the wisdom of the body and the ways it learned to cope, adapt, and survive. And when we can peel back those layers and meet the parts of ourselves that need care, we begin to see that food was never the problem and we can return to who we really are. I'm your host, Megan Darnell. Let's dive right in. So I want to talk to you today about emotional eating in a way that I find most people don't speak about it in this light. It's not a food problem or a discipline issue, and it's definitely not a lack of awareness. People that struggle with emotional eating have so much awareness. But I want to talk to you about what's actually happening in your body and your system when you're holding everything together all day. And you seem to have the rest of your life together. But then you feel like you lose control with food, particularly at night. So if this is you, I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you. And I know that there's probably parts of yourself that spend time beating yourself up for this food behavior. And this will hopefully give you some clarity rather than you sitting there thinking, why do I keep doing this? This will give you some clarity around what your system is actually doing. So we know you're capable and efficient and you hold things together, you get shit done. Your days are full, but that's because you fill them up. You move quickly, in the morning, you're making lunches, you're being timed. You're answering your emails while you're getting dressed. Lunch happens on the run or at your desk or in between meetings, and you squeeze in a workout or decide to get up and do the workout even though you might have had 4 hours sleep. You tell yourself, I'll just rest later. Or when I was in the midst of my high-functioning days, I used to say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And I can't believe that I used to say these things, but that was what I thought. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I love sleep now. So when you're high-functioning, you're inside your body doesn't feel calm. I kind of liken it to a duck. You know how a duck is swimming on the top of a pond and it looks so calm, but underneath there's so much going on for that to appear calm. It's exactly like that. So you don't actually feel calm under the surface. It feels wired or adrenally. So from a nervous system perspective, this isn't balance. It's mobilization. It's actually the flight response. If you know about fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Flight we can think of literally running away because in, I guess, a life and death situation, that's what flight is. But we're not, when we're working, I hope not anyway, we're not in life-death situations. So flight doesn't look like running away or anxiety or panic. It often instead looks like a sense of urgency with every single thing that you do, or efficiency, or even productivity. And we also live in a culture where productivity is kind of worn like a badge of honor. But we fill in every spare moment, so there's no place to stop. Not a spare moment. Just being busy keeps things moving. And when we keep moving, it keeps us feeling what's actually underneath. So now if we look at this through the lens of IFS, internal family systems, let's look at manager parts first. So this is one of the types of protector parts that we have. And if we're looking at it as through a manager part, this makes perfect sense because these parts of you, it's their entire job to keep everything running smoothly. They're the planners, the organizers. They anticipate people's needs or anticipate things going wrong and act accordingly before anything can go wrong. They smooth things over. They make sure nothing falls apart. And they truly believe, these parts of us, that if they don't do their job, things might fall apart or you won't be able to cope. More on that later. But they're very smart parts of us. They're very responsible. And they've kept you functioning for a really long time. They generally will have a very specific belief around this that, like, if everything is taken care of, nothing bad will happen. So all day long, these parts are working and they're generally running your life. So you might swallow your words when you wanted to say something and you're irritated. You might smile at someone that's made a comment that, quite frankly, really pissed you off. You might say, oh, it's okay, I've got this, when you're already stretched thin. Or you're saying yes to one extra thing on your plate when you genuinely do not have the capacity for it. You go work out on 4 hours sleep. You keep going. It's like you don't feel there's any room to honor your own needs. It's not that you don't have needs. You just genuinely have this part that is feeling like it's not possible. So what's underneath this? Underneath all of that productivity, there is a lot that you are holding. And if maybe you'd like to just take a deep breath right now and just feel yourself in your body. Just acknowledge that, like, you're holding so much. And a lot of it we're not feeling. But there might be grief there. Maybe for friendships that changed without any closure. Maybe grief for, like, younger versions of you that felt more lighter and carefree before the days of feeling all of this responsibility on your shoulders. Maybe there's grief there for giving more than you receive. Women in my world are so deep. And what I hear time and time again is they're tired of not having anyone that can match their depth or even meet their effort. And there might be some grief and some sadness underneath that. And that's okay. It's okay to feel that. But by staying in this productive state, there's sadness underneath that never actually gets named. There's disappointment that comes up that you rationalize away. Or maybe there's loneliness, but you stay so busy that you don't have to feel it. What's actually going on here in IFS? So underneath these managers, there's a much younger part of you, that little girl inside. She might have learned very early on that it's safer to be a good girl than an honest one. Maybe this sensitive little girl learnt that being sensitive was inconvenient, that emotions made things harder, and that asking for too much just simply wasn't welcome. So she adapted in the only way she knew how. She learned to be capable and helpful and low maintenance. And that earned her the approval and that, oh, you're a good girl. And she learned to function without needing much, without asking for much. But she's still in there. She's still inside you. And she still wants your attention, your care, and your attunement to her. But you're so stretched thin, you're holding so much, every day so damn full, that you don't even notice her. And then there's often another part of you present that's afraid to slow down, like you've been in this mode for years. Slowing down doesn't feel safe in your system. And this might not be conscious, but that part is afraid that if you stop, everything you've been holding, because there's a lot underneath there, will just spill out or you'll fall apart. So this system works very hard to keep moving. And after a whole day of all of this stuff going on, and all you saw was the duck on the surface, but not what was going on underneath, it might be, say, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Finally, you get to sit down. And the expectations drop. And you want something, a little something. This isn't hunger, it's like a craving for something, just a little craving. So you get up without really thinking about it. You grab a snack, pour a drink. You eat even though you weren't hungry 5 minutes ago. And then what follows after that is this, why did I do that? I didn't even really need it. So now to bring in that other type of protector part in IFS, so we have managers. They're the ones that keep your life running all day long. And then we have firefighters. If you think about a firefighter, they are a first responder in an emergency. They're going to come into the house and they are going to put that fire out. Their job is immediate relief. They don't plan. They don't care about discipline or long-term goals. And food is the thing that's going to put the fire out. Food brings sensation. It helps you to soften. It gives you some relief. It shifts your nervous system out of all of this pressure or numbness even that you've been feeling all day. So for a moment, think about all of that stuff you've been holding. For a moment, you feel something other than the responsibility that you're carrying. Emotional eating is not indulgence, it's relief. But it's temporary and it doesn't actually process what's going on underneath. It just pushes it right back down again. So once that moment passes, the managers just come right back in, often with shame. This can be like an inner critic part. Why did you do that? You have no willpower, like whatever it wants to say to you. And then a perfectionist part might come in and try and regain control. So they'll say, I need to be really good tomorrow. And they're trying to regain control over something that was like never about control to begin with. And this perfectionist part, like, okay, so you might have this perfectionist part that comes in and it's like, okay, I'm going to be really strict tomorrow. I'm going to eat really well and I'm not going to have a snack after dinner. But it kind of creates these like rules that almost feel like you need to be perfect to add to everything else that you're carrying during the day. And stricter food rules do not work, or eating perfectly all day will make your nights even harder. Can you start to see here where we are in the cycle and why you get stuck in this cycle? This is like why discipline will collapse when there's been no attunement in your system. This is not a food problem. Your system's been carrying too much for too long without ever being met, without ever stopping to say, hey, what do I need right now? Like you don't stop at 9 a.m., you don't stop at 12 p.m., you don't stop at 2 p.m., you don't stop at 5 p.m., you don't stop at 7 p.m. No wonder that part is coming in and saying, get the snacks, get the wine, or whatever it is that it wants to choose at 10 p.m. Because not once have you stopped to check in with yourself. Hey, what do I need today? I know that you might wait until 2, 3 p.m. some days to eat lunch. Or you forget and then your stomach's rumbling at 3:30 p.m. and you're like, oh, wow, I need to eat. I know you might sit and work for hours and you hold your pee. You need a pee and you just hold it. Stop doing that. Listen to your body. Like it's just tiny things, but you don't stop to actually have any attunement. So the food that you're eating at 10 p.m. or the wine or whatever it is, that's finally giving you something. That craving is not about food. It's your system needing you to pay attention. And when emotional eating is the only place where you actually allow yourself to let go and have a moment of relief, or maybe it's wine or alcohol, this doesn't mean you lack willpower. It means your system finally feels like it's allowed to stop for one moment. So instead of asking like, well, how do I stop it? I want you to sit with a really different question. What has my system been holding together all day? And just wait and see what answer comes up. And then a follow-up question you can ask is, when did I learn that I had to do this all alone? And we'll keep unpacking this, but ask those questions and just sit with a gentle curiosity and see what comes up. Thank you so much for listening. If this episode resonated, please follow or subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, or share it with someone who might benefit from hearing it. You can also connect with me on Instagram at Megan Darnell Therapy. If you share the episode or want to let me know what landed for you, you're always welcome to message or tag me. I love hearing from you guys. Until next time, I'm Megan Darnell, and this is The Self-Led Woman.